Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's the day before. That's what it is. It's the day before TGIM or TGIF. One of the above. All right, let's see what's going on here. We're looking at. That's something we're putting up on a story. Let's remove that. Let's see. Let's go like. Let's move that one down like so. And then move this one up like so. There we are. That tags is an interesting product. It's not the most liquid product, but it is an interesting product. It's a good position trade thing. All right, let's go with right there. Let's start off with, and let's get the currencies up. I'm going to go over to J4X and do that to start off with. And let me open this one up at the same time. There we are. J4X, and let's take a look at the Swiss. We're seeing some strength in the dollar. I think you can see it on the fact check spreadsheet. Where's that? Line 25. 2 days in a daily buy now. And we had, I think we had the euro is flirting with a daily sell, but the cable has jumped into a daily buy. Interesting action there. And then over on line 21, you can see we went into a daily buy in both dollar Swiss and Canadian dollar Canadian, both 20 and 21 are both in daily buys. Let's get this up and going. There we are. And there is the Swiss. And then let's check this out over here. There we are. And that's the dollar index. You can see it's holding up a little bit in here. We're getting some strength. And you can see the weekly is actually flirting with the weekly buy still. It's getting to the end of the week now. So that's really confirming that there's a little buying going on in the dollar. And then there's the Swiss. You can see the Swiss is going up in value also. So this kind of emulates the way that action works out. Let's see. Let's go over to the chat line, make sure that's all A-OK. There we are. We hear our sound, so that's good. Let's see. So yeah, the Canadian and the Swiss have both slid into their daily buys, and you can see it's we should put a little line in there for that. There we are. And they're showing a little more strength today. Again, there's a lot of noise. I think we just had some major news come out. Didn't we have GDP and then PPI come out? We're seeing some of the markets jump around a little bit just because of that alone. That is the issue with it all in the end. Fundamental analysis is finding its way into the marketplace, failing of course. Usually it's short-lived. I mean, everything is one thing, and that is it's the central banks. They are the buyers of last resort. I think we showed you that. We were rambling about it for a couple of weeks, and sure enough it made it into the news about the idea that the cryptocurrencies, or I don't like to think of them as currencies, the crypto assets are truly free market products with no buyer of last resort. What a unique thing that is in the 21st century. I imagine the exchanges, the Coinbase and the rest of them, they're the real buyers of last resort. All right, and so there you can see here the strength is starting to evolve, and you can see the same thing here. You see the line moving through like down here, and our weekly is even going up and trying to kiss the nonlinear time manifold on the negative side. So we'll see if that gets through, the white line gets through there and starts to head to the zero line. Looks like it's next week's work, really. That's the way it looks to me. It all looks like it's next week's work. And that's about the best we can come up with when it comes to looking the way the dollar is. It's a sloppy, slow, trading action. It's just no real conviction. I think that's what it comes down to. And with the holiday coming into the States, this is a long 3-day weekend, which people try to turn into a 4-day weekend. that will make it even more, of a low conviction type market. All right, let's go check out the euro. We'll put it up on J4X here. Right there. And we'll stick it over here. Right there. You can see it's pressed its way into the sell today. It's working its way into that sell. It tried to go after it last night. Didn't do too good a job. But you can see it's trying to break down here. It was lower. And you can see this is curving down. We're curving down. So this is, doing its job. This is a good tool. Now, let's see what we got here. Yeah, the news must have been something. We'll have to take a look and see what the news was. See, I just want to see what the news was since I turn off anything electronic that I'm, like TV and so forth. Let's see. And the answer is, let's see what the news came out to be on the economic calendar on Dukascopy here. Today is Thursday, and the answer is, that's Friday. Thursday, there we are. And jobless claims were 3,642,000, and the estimated was 360,000. So that's not, that's 600,000. So that's pretty much, that's fine. And then initial jobless claims 406,000, and the estimates and the forecast was 371. So a little bit higher. And then gross domestic product, they're showing that to be the forecast of 6.5 and 4.1 on the index, but they're not showing us what came out. Durable goods were in line, maybe not. Durable goods were actually a little bit lower from what they were estimating at 1.2. They were at 1, but both the durable good orders itself were 1.3 and 1.3. So minus 1.3. That's what probably shook things up. Minus 1.3 versus 1.3. So I'm not sure what's going on with the GDP yet, but let's see if we can find something about the GDP, because that's the one that's got my eye. I'm really curious to see what's going on with that. Let's see, U.S. durable goods new orders unexpectedly tumble in April. Let's see, Biden's unveils $6 trillion budget that will raise Fed spend. What is he doing? It's like he negotiates with the Republicans, tells them that they can come to some type of, won something, and then the staff changes it. The president of the United States is being run by his staff at this point. Everybody's convinced of that. He doesn't really. He can say what he wants, but what happens is they just walk it back and change it. That's really weird. I don't see anything on the GDP. Let me see what the Dukascopy says about that, because I'm a little curious why we're not seeing anything on gross domestic product. U.S. Bureau of Economic Advisors change in inflation-adjusted values. It doesn't say anything more than that. Okay. So I don't know when that's coming out. We'll just try to keep an eye on that one. All right. Back to the chat line. There we are. And let's take a look at cable and see what the cable's up to. I saw it perking up really firm and strong. Again, every time we get into a weekly buy, I think it's just going to go higher. I'm just totally convinced they've undervalued that product. And you can see there it's trading at 141.66 at 67. And let's see what it looks like on Chicago Quant. Right there. And you can see it's piercing through. Right there. See that? It's piercing through. This will be joining in too. It's very soon. It's bouncing off of that little line, whatever that's doing with the MACD. But we see that as a lagging indicator compared to the two stochastics battling with each other each day. So we'll see how you can see here. This is trying to move up. It's still in the weekly buys from all the way back here. And the one, what was that? The 130. Let's move that over a little bit. There we are. There we are. And so you can see, oh no, that's not that. Let's find it again. Right there. As you can see, since it's gone into the weekly buy here in the, what's it, the 139 area, basically 138, 780, 138, 80, 138, 79, 3. So 138, 80 basically. And now we're at the 142, 90s. So it's moved up 4 handles. Pretty impressive there. Some buyers are here. All right, now let's drift over to the Turkish Lira. That did also, on the fact check spreadsheet, you can see that also closed in a daily buy right there. We like to look at the Turkish Lira against the euro and against the dollar. And right there you can see that's trying to perk up. It is a little bit, it's about unchanged. It tried to go a little bit higher. It's still holding on. We're still holding on for those yellow dots. And then we take a look at it in the euro, which I think pushed into a sell yesterday. I thought I saw something like that. It was very close. No, okay. They challenged it throughout the trading day, but by the end of the day, they straightened it out and pushed it back up again. So that's holding on pretty well also at the same time, and plus for the day. So we probably were going to see more buying and less, and more buying of the pairs. Not the Turkish side of it, not the lira, but the other, the other currencies. And the lira is going to have its issues. I think it's going to move its way up much more higher. All right, now let's see. That is the Turkish. Let's go take a look at the Canadian. We already mentioned that it did climb into a daily buy there yesterday, right there. And lifted higher, and then it's backed off, but we are in a weekly sell. We need to see this white line at least touch the time manifold and so forth with this daily to see it actually make a run into the higher zones. At this point in time, we're not seeing it on the weekly side. So this is just profit taking and noise, nothing more than that. As we take a sip of our tea. Now, we'll take a look at, from there we go over to the euro against the Canadian. Euro against the Canadian, right there. And since the Canadian's kind of flattish, I figure oil is probably flattish. And this is trying to move down a little bit, so I'd say it's flattish to up. So let's go over and take a look at crude oil. And it's flattish and down. So those pairs. Oh no, that's right. Canadian going up, oil go down, right? And then euro against the Canadian. Let me go back to the euro Canadian view right there. Yeah, see that's going down, so that should add some strength into it. But I guess with the Canadian going up, it's kind of neutral. But either so, the oil contract is down. So not a lot, but it's down. So thought it would be a little bit higher up, 20 cents or something like that. And you can see we did slide into that weekly sell last week, and it has been a flat nothing. It just has not really shown any conviction whatsoever. There was Monday, and all it's done is climbed into a buy, basically, nothing more than that, and it just doesn't seem to want to let go. So, and the way it's playing with this line here, you have, at least in my head, I'm looking at it and thinking it's going to try to. If we get into a weekly buy and a daily buy, I have to believe this thing is going towards the 70s. I mean, that would be the logic to it to me. All right, now let's take a look at natural gas. That is also showing lots of good life, 2 days in a buy, but that never even went into the weekly sell, as you can see back here. It's been in a weekly buy now for 3, 4, 5, 6, going on a 7th week. So the energy complex is showing some very firm upside action. Another quiet day, no questions. Interesting. Then we jump over to the currency pairs again. We start off with the ruble, right there. Boy, it's fighting not to get into that daily buy. It just Where are we at now on that? That is what, 16? Where's ruble? Ruble is number 18. We're 10 days now in a daily sell, and we are 4 weeks in a weekly sell. So it's not falling a lot, but it's just keeps on sliding slowly down. That's always I like to see some real price action there before I believe that's meaning more than just maybe, what's the word? I can hear the word in my head. It means that they don't care at the moment. In other words, there doesn't seem to be any, that magical word I like to use, conviction. No one seems to care. So it's just like drifting. It's like a drift, not going in any real solid direction, but in the sense that it is going down and it's in a weekly sell and so forth, but it's not doing it with any real power. Alrighty, now let's take a look at, there we go. Let's take a look at the, where's it at? Japanese yen. There we are. And you can see the yen is showing some life in it. I think it closed in a daily buy yesterday. I think that's how that worked. Right there. And I think it's on the spreadsheet too. It's probably a 1. Where is the yen on there? Right there, yeah. So we are 1 week in a buy, and we are 1 day in a buy now. And it's drifting up, and when we saw that starting to happen on Tuesday, I remember saying, keep an eye out on the dollar, because the dollar usually follows suit, and it is. It's making its way up into that direction. All right, now we go over to the Mexican peso. Right there. There it is, dollar peso. And this, it's been in the sell since this zone here. We should make that run all the way up. There we are. It's been in the sell since here, and it's been a nice and interesting trade, and it's trying to hold on to the sell here. Maybe we're going to make another dip into like the low 19s. Maybe it'll get down to 1950. It's nice and tight. I have to say this. The people in Mexico must be very happy that their currency is staying very stable. That's a really positive thing. It always is. The less fluctuation of these currency pairs, obviously for the locals, is always the better. All right. Now, who needs inflation, Then we jump over to the dollar rand right there. And this is heading down still, and we're obviously assuming because of that pressure, that's a positive way, it's becoming less costly. We figure that the metals complex must be reflecting that. So we'll go over to right there, gold. And gold's kind of flattished it down a little bit. Silver's truly the enigma. You can see that it's trying to get into a buy, and it's trying to flirt its way into, it was green, I guess at one point removed, and you can see it's underneath, it was green for a little bit this week. Now, it's back, it closed in the daily sell last week, weekly sell last week right here, and it looked like it was trying to find a way to get into the buy. I know it's the end of the week and it's slow, but it's kind of stalling out there. And then we take a look at platinum, see what the platinum's doing. The platinum's doing the same thing. It's not really going anywhere. It's interesting how the gold has really led this whole move, and in other words, separately by itself, not led it. It has taken off, and we're not really seeing any real action in the other ancillary metals. I mean, even copper is flirting with a daily buy, but it's been in a weekly, daily sell for, what is that, 13 days over there on line 8. So we're in a weekly buy for 5 weeks, and for the last almost 3 weeks, you couldn't be long at the same time. And you can see why. It's just been going down. And now we are dancing and flirting. Last week we tried. This week we're trying. You can see this. At least this one is almost there. It's below the zero line. We'll see if they actually do close this thing in a weekly sell. Okay. Then, where else do we go here? Let's go. Okay, so that's the metals complex. Now let's derive over to the crypto. Right there. They pushed. Now that's interesting. It's got a red dot. Last night it was a green dot. Let me just refresh this thing again. Let's see. Let's go with Control R. Yeah, it's still in there. So I guess we have to take that green out of there. You can see on the fact check spreadsheet we listed it as a buy. We're going to leave it up top here like that. And not a confirmed buy yet. It's just showing upwardly power. Same thing right here. You can see it's higher today than it was the close of yesterday. But unfortunately the weekly is still into the minus zone. And you can see today they are flirting with the daily sell again. So this is really tough action. Just tough. It just cannot get any. I know. And was it Carl Icahn came out? Let me show you what Carl Icahn said about it. I thought he's very insightful, and let's see. Let's cancel that. I'm going to find it for you and bring it up on the board. I thought it was a really interesting statement he made, because I totally agree with it. There we are. And right there. And right there. We're almost there. We're going to get it up there on the screen for you. Oh, here. Q1 GDP stuck at 6.4 after revision as core PCE comes in hotter than expected. Okay, so that's that. And then let's see if we can find Mr. Icahn. There we are. And right there. Crypto is here to stay. Carl Icahn wants up to 1.5 billion in crypto exposure. And as far as he's concerned, jumping on the crypto train, favoring Ethereum over Bitcoin. Yet another one of the world's most legendary investors has became bullish on the space, adding to Loeb and Delia and Druckenmiller and so forth. Munger, okay, from Omaha, never will. Okay. On Thursday, Carl Icahn told Bloomberg Markets Taylor Riggs that while he doesn't own any digital currencies, his firm might get involved in a relatively big way, adding crypto is here to stay in one form or another. I totally agree. I think when you buy the cryptos, you're buying a few things. One is for sure, you're buying into the blockchain concept of security and confidentiality and just separation from the central banks and the crazy politicians. That's the way I look at it. So that, to me, that's what the cryptos are all about. Yes, indeed. All right, so that's the Carl. Let's remove him from the screen and go on to, let's move that down. And then let's just take a look at that GDP. Let's see, where's it at here? Scroll up. Let's go like this. Crypto's right there. Okay, now right there. Let's get this up on the screen. There it is right there. GDP Q1 stuck at 6.4. While few will care about Q1. GDP did not in the last quarter, according to the BEA, the second estimates of U.S. economic output, when we already knew it came in super hot thanks to the Biden's trillions in stimmies. Some were curious that the Fed's preferred inflation metric, the core PCE, would say after the recent near record prints in the other inflation data sets. To answer any and all such questions today, the BEA revealed that according to its revised estimates on Q1, the U.S. economy grew at 6.4, unchanged from its first estimate and missing Wall Street consensus expectations of 6.5. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Composition of the GDP was roughly in line with first estimate, with the bulk of the move driven by personal consumption. So there's your answer to that. You know, we're not exactly exploding, and all these Biden things. I mean, the thing above it is really freaky. I mean, he wants to do. I don't know. Mr. Biden is a strange bug. It's like he's not in charge. It's really weird. There. Unveils $6 trillion budget that will raise Fed spending to its highest post-World War II level. And he's out of his mind. The guy's crazy. Oh, wow. And there is the durable goods where it showed the minus, where they were looking for 1.3. It came out minus 1.3. See what they have to say about that. Analysts expect U.S. durable goods orders to rise to 12th straight month in April, but were significantly disappointed as the headline print preliminary tumbled 1.3 versus plus 8. Now on Dukascopy they had it plus 1.3 and it generated a minus 1.3. There's a zero. There's a what? There's a silver lining. Oh well. So anyway, that's where we stand. That's the story of inflation that seems to be slowly evolving around us, and there's not much we can do but just watch it occur. All right, now let's take a look at where did we leave off? We left off at cryptos. That's what it really caught my eye, is the cryptos. And then let's take a look at there is Coinbase right there. And it's in a buy for a couple of days here, and it's trying to lift. And you can see it's actually a little bit higher than yesterday, but not taking out yesterday's highs yet. And we're starting to build up some history in that thing. I think it was, what was it, April 15th it came out, so we just about have 30 days now. Let's see, move that over, yeah. Let's go like this. So yeah, it came out on April 14th. And May 15th is obviously 1 month, and now we're moving towards the end of it and getting ready to go into June. So we're starting to build up some history there. We have been watching it on a tick-to-tick basis too. It's very interesting. Let's see if we can find that. We can throw that up there for a second. Let's see, minimize that, and let's see, where is it at? Right there. There we go. And there it is there. And that is, you can see it's been a nice upwardly slope. And I need to go back further days, but it seems like it's trying to turn up again. But right now, these red dots and the bars have been pressing down, and the histo went minus off of this one. And then it bobbed up, went down and challenged it a couple times, but no major action in it. And now you can see today it's trying to lift up again, but it's got a volatility signal that's kicking out. And this is part of the crypto universe. And we, keep track of this crypto universe because we really think that it has validity. That's just plain and simple. Nothing more than that. Alrighty. Now let's drift over to let's see what we can find here. Let's go to, we go over to the stock indices. I guess that's the best place to jump to at this point. So we'll move this down, and we'll go over into the stock indices. Right there. And there's the Nasdaq 100. You can see a little pressure on it again. We've gone from a daily sell to a daily buy, and they threw a red dot in there, and now we're down to the daily sell again, acting like as if it never really existed. And so really, I think it was no red dot at the time when we put the line in. Now it is. They've added data to change it. I hate when they do that, the exchanges. And you can see here we're just pressing down at the moment. Nothing major. I think it's down only like, let me see what it's down. It's like 40 points or 50 points. 35 points now. So, just kind of little pressure on it. You can see the weekly looks like it's going to hang out in a weekly sell for a third week. This will be the third week if it closes down here. Tomorrow's right on the edge, so it's going to be very close. If they take this thing up, and it's got a lot of room to go. You got to figure that we're off by 600 points from the all-time high in the Tech 100. Let's put it up on the J4X. That's what they refer to it more as the Tech 100. Yesterday we talked about it a lot. Maybe we might have to do that. Put that as the title today. We'll see. We shall see. But here's the Tech 100. Right there. Okay, there it are. You can see it's been staying up. It's trying to climb on this work. You can see that there. On our work, it's gotten sloppy and is literally trying to just walk away. It is trying to just walk away. In other words, it's trying not to go up anymore. And like I said, there's plenty of room. The product all-time high is around the 14.1 or 14.2, I think it is. Let's see what it is there. Let's contract this. Get the exact number. I think that's the all-time high right there. 14,039, or is it this one here? 14,060. I guess 14,060. There's 1439, and the next day was 34. So they seem to be pushing in that direction. It seems that that push is going. It doesn't seem to be walking away. The stock indices could, if they don't take out the all-time highs and they start to curve here, this could become a A, and this was a B, and then they come in down to this area here into the 12s again and try to challenge this bottom in here like that. And since we're in a weekly sell and it's doing this action, if we stay in that weekly sell and that starts to curve, I think we're going to see ourselves a nice little correction here. Nothing major, but just a nice little correction on the downside again. Now over on the S&P 500, you can see right here, that is doing the same type of action, except for it is actually up for the day. It's up 4.5 points, almost 5 points actually, 475. There's 5. It's up 5 points at the moment. And so it's also trying to flirt with a daily sell. Let's give it a refresh. It's right there. And you can see it's higher today. Was unchanged. It was minus. Now it's higher at the moment. And at the same time, you can see the daily is trying to push into a sell. And the weekly is trying to push its way into the buy. Is that plus again? Nope, still minus by, look at plot 1, by minus 0.30, then 40. Then we saw minus 25 a few ticks back. So it is trying. There's minus 35 again. It's trying. We should light that up too. Let's see if we can do that. Which one are we looking at? Plot 1. So go like this. Nope. Like that. Style. And let's light that up like that. See, that's minus 40. Now you can see it right on the screen itself. Let's see if we can do this. See it right there. So it's minus 40. Now minus 45. Just pushing itself around and around and around. It's but no real conviction here, traders. And as like I said, it gets, by this afternoon it'll be even slower, and by tomorrow it'll be like people will be trying to turn it into a 4-day weekend. the mini vacation everybody tries to take every year. We declare our summer started. We don't wait for the solstice and all those other things and equinoxes. We declare, we have a habit of calling our holidays from something else altogether, which is always entertaining. Okay, now let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Remember yesterday we did discuss the idea of divisor versus a cap weighted, and here it is there. And it was trying to push down. You can see the weekly has really firmed up. That's very impressive. Right there. It's been like that all week long. It's just been pushing up, up, and up, but it's not really that big. And let's also turn this one on so we can see it. And it's the green one, I guess. Plot 1 right there. There we are. So it's plus 37 evens, 37.20, 36. You can see how much action there is in it. Right there. So that's trying to hold up on the weekly. The daily is still minus. Let's turn that one on so you can see it on the side chart there. See, there's the weekly right there. Let's see if we can grab a hold of it right there. See that number right there changing back and forth. As I said, it doesn't do anything. See, and then like right here, there we are. That one's, see, it's on the daily, it is minus 767. See if we can do that right there. See it? Minus 67. So the daily, as much as it's up, I think it's up about what is it, about 30 or 40 points. The opposite of the Tech 100. So it closed at 294 and is now trading at, let's just double check that, 294. Oh, it's even up more firm. So 294, and now it's trading at 426. So that's 132 points. It's up at the moment. I guess that's the obvious difference between a cap weighted and the divisor based indices. There's very few of them out there, but I like them better. Always have. Maybe because I'm a Dow theorist, and I like looking at that I like the Dow concept more. All right, let's go over to the last of them all, which I found very curious. That Russell 2000 is in a daily buy for 2 days, and it's showing even more strength today. This is the most speculative of the 4 stock indices. So when this thing is taking off, money is coming into the system. Now we are coming up to the end of the month. Normally funds like to dollar cost average at the beginning of a month and at the end of the month. And that's possibly some of the reasons we're seeing strength here. We've seen some major Friday trades, major markets on a Friday before the Memorial Day weekend here. Some blame the thinness, some blame the beginning of the summer and they want to get their position on and then not have to do anything. We've heard many different stories over the decades over it. All right, now we've completed the stock indices themselves. And yesterday, I think there was literally no questions, and today it's been the same way. And so it just has left me with lots of time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at, let's see if we can find it here, on the stock combo. Let's take a look at the SPY, and you can see that is pressing down, trying to get into a sell. That's the S&P 500 on a stock indice. The diamond is the Dow. What is really odd out of it is in a daily sell for 3 days compared to the futures contract, which is right there. And you can see, oh, okay, this is also in a sell. So it's also flirting with the sell just the same. And then, let's see, we go over to here again, and you can see here the QQQ, which is the Tech 100 we have up on Dukascopy screen at the moment, in the J4X. And that is vacillating back and forth, trying to get into a buy. It's in a sell. We put the green line up there, but it's still not giving us a clear signal because it's a green dot and a red dot. and so it's kind of stuck. At the same time, we're in a weekly sell, just like we are with the futures contract, for 2 full weeks, going on a third week. And so we're really standing to the side and saying, you know, can we put a position on this? Can we make some money out of it? What can we do here? And right now, it's screaming at us to just basically stand to the side. Now, again, we have that ABC pattern. Let's grab that mouse there. See there? Like here, A, B, this is the B, and maybe they're going to go do the C and go challenge these lows in here, which they've almost done already right there. And that's the way we look at this action and how we read our charts over it all. All right. And that is that. There's Apple. You can see Apple's been a daily sell for a couple of days and showing a little weakness in here today. Again, the Nasdaq is down, Dow Jones is up. And I imagine if we looked at, you know, some type of Dow, you know, a New York Stock Exchange stock, it would be up in value, not down. There's that dollar index we talked about. I'm just looking through the whole process. There is that is coffee. Let's give it a refresh. They haven't made a trade yet, but they've gone up last night and closed at the highs. Heck of a way to go do your buy. Closes in the highs. You can see the weekly underneath it has been in a buy. So obviously people need their coffee and they are buying it. You can see right here. Let's see, where's that? Right there. See how it's been in a buy for 2, 3, 4, 5 full weeks, going on a sixth. And it's had a nice move from it. You know, it's moved up from the 38 area, 39 area, all the way up to the 45 area, just over those, was it 4+ weeks? Matter of fact, in the beginning, it almost did it within a week. You can see it right here. But now we're starting to break out of this, taking out the top part of the, what they call the cup. You know, it's the William O'Neill cup and saucer, or the William O'Neill cup and handle. So what he does is, William O'Neill looks at a coffee mug or drinking teacup, you know, with a handle on it, and he says, okay, you know, it's breaking the surface area at the top. The handle went up above it a little bit, stalled, went back down again. You know how the outer side goes down again, and then it jumps back up into a buy, and that's when he really thinks that you get some buying and some continuity. Alrighty, let's see what we got going on here. So that is that, and then we're actually writing an article on the tags. It caught our eye last week, and interesting to see the way they treat this thing. Very illiquid, unfortunately. Not bad for position trading. You know, there's like about 1,000 bid for and 1,000 asked for. So there's some volume there. There's no doubt about that. But it seems like it's almost being held down in some ways, which is very hard to believe. But it does seem that way. You know, I don't know what else to say about that. But we've been following it, and it is a commodities ETF, which is interesting. Let's see, did they update that? No. Let's give it a refresh. There we are. Still nothing. Nothing for the 27th. So we're just waiting and waiting and waiting to see when they finally update that. Now, let's drift over to, let's see, where are we at? Let's go back to the commodity side of it, or not the commodities, but the stock indices. And we've taken a peek at pretty much everything in here. Only one we didn't look at is platinum. You can see platinum is trying to lift up, but it's been one of the more stranger products. We saw it get up to the 3,000 area, and it just stalled, and it played up there again and stalled, and you know, we're in a weekly buy, but we've been in daily sells mainly throughout that whole venture. Let's see. Now we drift over to, you can see here the stock indices. Let's see, show you some live action here. See that there? They're trying to turn it up. They're trying to get it up again. It's It's been really, here's the Tech 100. This is literally ticking away. This is no more than 27 minutes ago. They took it down to the lows. So tighten this up. Look at that. They drove it down there off of the news right here on the half hour, and took it up, tried to bring it down, and now you can see it's right back up to right before the news came out. All right. Let's see. We're checking out all of this already, so not bad. And what have we done over at currencies? Let's see if there's anything in the currency realm that we can talk about. It's been one of those type of days, where the last couple of days no one's involved. It gets quiet. We get 8 or 9 people. It seems like everybody's just kind of leaning into the recordings. I noticed the recordings are very active. Just kind of a quiet day overall. All right, there. Now let's see what we got here. That's there. I'm just checking to see if anything else is going on. Looks like they're putting some more pressure on the euro. See what the cable's doing. And same thing on the upside. They're putting more pressure on the cable on the upside. Now that had just one green dot for a long while. Now all of a sudden, okay, there it is, refreshed. Straightens that out. I don't know. Looking at the cable, I keep on expecting to see something like that 147 area. And what would be 3 handles or 4 handles in this product over the next couple of weeks? Not much. All right. And this you can see also trying to go for its highs of the day right now as we speak. The high is 90.05, and right now it's trading at 90.0, almost 3. It's 2.8. So it's just a couple of ticks off of the all-time highs there. Just 2 pips. There we go. Looks like something was trying to scan. Now we drift over to, I don't know where else to drift to. Let's see, we got plenty of products in here we can take a look at. We will make this the full-fledged webinar today. Just kind of quiet. And the stories have been kind of interesting. Nothing is jumping out at me. I mean, how everybody hears what I feel about the cryptos. People know how I feel about the spending. I don't believe the government's going to spend the money that he suggests. And that normally puts strength into a stock market, and maybe that's why we're seeing this action right here. Let's see, I'll show you. The stock market is lifting up. Dow Jones Industrial Average is at the highs of the day. And you can see here, let's do this. The high today in that product, let's see if we can find it again. The high in that product is 13,717. And you can see we're in the 80s again. And as you can see, the way they're ticking it up, it's like as if they're going to drive it right back to the highs. And it's just been pushing up and up and up. They tried to start it off firm, and then they sold it. And you just don't know when you have the central banks as the buyer of last resort. It's awful hard to say, oh my God, money's coming in. But at this time of the year, or the month, more like it, we all do know they like the dollar cost average into the product. So, there's a good chance that they are buying this. The funds themselves, not the Federal Reserve. And everybody knows that the Federal Reserve and the central banks are propping up all these things. And we saw stories, the last couple of days talking about don't be fearful of tapering. As much as tapering, the QE tapering was supposed to happen almost 10 years ago now. It was supposed to happen, they started QE in 2008 as Mr. Obama was elected and put into office. And, he gets put in on 2009 to change policies. But, they listen to these new presidents when they get elected because, it's a dead zone, In other words, the sitting administration is not going to is only going to be there for a month or 2.5 months. So it's like, why get that involved? It's November, December is a month and a half to the end of the year, and then they get sworn in, and they can start doing things around the 6th or something like that, and then the inauguration is the 18th. So basically 2 months. And so in this case here, you can see they're taking the stock indices up because it's the end of the month more than it has anything to do with the central banks, which is kind of nice, because I'm just tired overall of putting up with the central bank action that we see. All right, where else do we go from here? We've got the stock combos. I'm trying to wait for this to fill in, but it hasn't done it. Still no. It's still the 26th. That's yesterday. I'm wondering where this is going in here. And let's see what the coffee looks like. See if coffee has done anything. Still no quote, no trade. Okay. And let's see, what else can we look at here? I'm trying to find other things that might have some relevancy with the numbers that came out. We looked at currency. Oh, we could look at its bonds. What did they do to the bonds? Let's see what happened there. That's usually a really insightful action right there. So the pressure on it, when a bond goes down, interest rates are rising. And when a bond goes up in value, the interest rates are dropping. So interest rates are, with the product going down, interest rates are rising. That's the inflation concern. We hear about it, they talk about it, there's not a lot of conviction to it, but overall, it's something on the top of everybody's mind. They think about it a lot, because you try to, stocks usually protect you from inflation. Commodities have, we've seen where like lumber and so forth are going through the roof. Crude oil is at like a 16-month high, or even further out, maybe 20-month high. Natural gas firming up in the beginning of the summer has refused to go down. When it did go down, it just stopped cold for like 1 week and boom, right back into a weekly buy. The commodity prices, the corn and the wheat and the soybeans and all like that, are coming down. There's no doubt about that. We've been watching them. Let's go take a look at those. I'll just close this. There we are. Let's put the commodities up there. And you can see they're in weekly buys, but daily sells. That pressure has been going on for a while now. So there's corn. You can see the corn has been in a daily sell. Went in here, went down. We got some little buying. Went in here for a couple of days, and then back into the sell again. And now they're trying to pop it, and it's flirting the September corn. This is September corn. It's flirting with a weekly sell with no problem. Now, July corn, same situation. Pressure is on. See here, like that. It's wideness. There we go. So that pressure is on. Matter of fact, let's turn on the system itself and see, so we can see the numbers. -8335. And then we take a look at soybeans. You can see soybeans also flirting with the weekly sell. That's interesting. Let me call Robin, because I think the chart I put up over there is wrong. Let me go double check a chart we put up for Robin. Let's see, where's it at? Is it in there? It's right there. Let's just go back and check that. That's interesting. Which one did we put in there? This is what? This is July beans. July beans are showing a sell. I'm glad we're seeing this. Let's give this a reload. Now, why is that not reflecting it? Ah, because it's a 5. That's why. Okay, now we know what's going on. We can just call Robin and tell him, hold up on that chart.
All right. Where you are, Robin, right there. Hey, hold up on that double chart. I gave you the wrong double chart because beans are playing with the weekly sell, and so is corn. So it'll match up to the tag. I just realized that it's not either one of them are doing it. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know what that is. No, that's odd. All right, let me send this over to you. I'll be right back. See, now I'm glad we had a chance to investigate this at the end. I try to keep on moving along when it gets a quiet day like today, but Doc will always end up doing his research. Let's see. So this is beans. So let's fix that. And where's it at? Right there. Add indicator. Insert study. There we go. And let's fix that. And what is that? That is 5. So we're using a gas line 5 in there. So let's put that in there. Gas line 5. Where are you, 5? There it is, right there. And properties, bottom 2. And I guess like that. Let's see if that does it. Yep, there we are. That's much better. Interesting. Okay, now I feel much better. All right, traders. I don't know if you need to listen to me ramble about how I'm going to put these things in. And this one is a 3-5 super, so let's fix that one and enforce that. Let me do this. Let's like that. The standard like that, and then I'll put that in. So anyway, happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be tomorrow, which will be that TGIF. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Remove that and add that. That's what it is, 3-5. Ta-ta for now.